This first one
We
was
only
just
have
ready to
11.
satisfy those that he thinks. Yes, if 11 persons are added to 28, if I'm not mistaken, it's a plus. And others too. Not all of them too. You said that we have some professors who are academia, so they also have their own words of experience that they will bring into the table. So I don't think that it's all of them politicians alone. I think the politicians there, Erufai, Dr. Yesowike, David Umahi, and who again that was on that list. So I don't think it's all of politicians alone. We also have some professors. We also have some lawyers.
Okay, so we have a situation where we have technocrats who have gone into politics also making the list.
Yes, if I don't understand what you meant by.
Like for instance, there are professors who have been before occupied one political office or the other, and now they are in this list as minister nominees. At that point, we cannot basically say, "Oh, this person is a politician," because maybe they don't belong to a political party, even if they've worked with governments in the past and are here now again working or hoping to working as a minister.
Yes, maybe they are appointed because of their past experience. So I don't think, okay, yes, in that situation now, you don't say that he completely brought in his political associate and all of that into the ministerial list. So I think rather those who are professors, those who are lawyers and all of that should be able to advise the president directly, should be able to show difference in their ministries, in their various ministries, so that those who are politicians should also copy from them. Because if, for example, you have colleagues who are doing very well in their own ministry and you are trying to bring in politics into what you are doing, the public are there also to criticize you, the public are also there to speak. So I think that with all of this now, we expect some sort of a change. Now, each time we talk about technocrat, when this guy was coming in Anambra, sorry, let me digress a little.
We might not have all of that time, Mr. Ortuka. We don't have all of that time, so just hold that thought, please. Remain on that line of thought. Okay. Let's just take this commercial, and then when we come back, we'll look at that. Women involvement and youth involvement on this list will be discussed as well.
Nigeria Info will be right back.
When we
Thank you, Mr. Ortuka, for staying on the line for us.
Thank you.
All right. So quickly, you were trying to share something before I go into other details with the conversation.
Yes, you were talking about technocrats.
Yes. So let me rephrase that question.
Some of them, not all of them on the list are politicians. We also have some. We have professors here. And we also have some.
But this is a problem. Mr. Ortuka, if you can hear me, please. Let me just let me cite out a few examples from some of the names in the list. Mohammed Ali Pate, I hope I'm getting his name correctly. Dr. Mohammed Ali Pate is on that list and is currently a visiting professor at the Duke University's Global Health Institute in the United States. This is, I'm just trying to put out a few of the names for the men. Also, if you had seen engineer Professor Joseph Utsev, who is also on that list, yes, is a professor, renowned civil and water engineer, academic, politician, philanthropist, entrepreneur, and administrator. He owns a degree in the civil engineering space from the University of Agriculture, Makurdi. He even graduated best student. Anyways, you get the point I'm making. If we look at Honorable Nkiru Onyejocha, she graduated from Nsukka, but then she has been in politics for a long time. Even in 2018, she was in the APC before the PDP before coming to the APC, winning elections.
What of our own Mandela Alake? Are we removing ourselves from being?
Okay, well, I'm trying to make the point. Is also there. Beta Edu earned her medicine and surgery degree from University of Calabar. She's also the immediate past commissioner for health in Cross River State. Then she became the APC national women leader. I think that was in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. There are a couple of other ladies on the list I could also mention. Another nominees there. Hanatu Musawa has also been in the politics. Yeah, she's a lawyer, but then a spokesperson of the APC Presidential Campaign Council as well. Her law degree was, I think, from the UK in Buckingham University. My point now is we don't have their portfolios attached. And we've come to see that the conversation between technocrats and politicians, we now have technocrats who are politicians as well. And because we don't have a portfolio, it makes it difficult. How can we tell? We know that even the former governor of Rivers State is a lawyer.
Yes.
We know that. How can we now tell which ministries these people can head and head effectively? If we look at some of the people I've mentioned, you can say, oh, Mohammed Ali Pate might become Minister for Health, perhaps. But then people would question whether he understands the peculiarity of the health sector in Nigeria. We don't know how long he must have served here. But then for other people, we might not know because they purely are professor for, let's say you studied law or you studied this. Which ministry do we then, can we identify and say, oh, these people will be given, and how can we measure that they have the technical know-how, not just the political will, but the technical know-how to manage those ministries?
Yes, if they are willing to work with the permanent secretaries of those ministries, because all of these ministries, they have permanent secretaries. So the area you don't understand very well and you have little knowledge about that ministry, like you are talking about Professor Ali Pate, that if they are pointing there, if you understand the peculiarity of our health system in Nigeria, he can liaise with the permanent secretary, Minister of Health, to get some of those areas that they think need major, intervention. If he liaises with the permanent secretary and come up with some measures that can address some of those challenges in those areas, I think we are good to go. It doesn't mean that everybody must be a technocrat for an administration to perform very well. It depends on those who are in there. Like when the former governor of Rivers State was in Minister of Education, you've heard him post that, yes, when he was in Minister of Education, State for Education, he did this, he did that, and all of that. So if he can come up again, they can take him to another ministry and he say, okay, this is how I performed when I was a minister. I've known one or two about the ministerial situation of the ministerial appointed duty. This is what I'm going to do in any ministry I'm going to take over. And if you look at the performance in the state here, some of them as a governor or as a politician, they've also performed. So you cannot rule that away, to take that away from them, that none of them as a governor, because they were politicians, none of them performed in their various states. No, you don't say that, because one, some of them they performed. some of them done one or two things in their state that they form in those ministries. So let's not just say because they are not technocrats, they are not this, they cannot do anything. No, if we say that, that means the governors we are electing into position in the various states, we expect nothing from them as well. You understand? Like when Soludo was coming as a governor in Anambra State, everybody was saying, oh, Soludo will do this, Soludo will do that, Soludo will do everybody. So much of expectation. You understand what happened when he assumed office as a governor? 2-3 months into his administration, we saw what happened and all of that. Up to now, some persons in Anambra State are still complaining that he's doing nothing as compared to the former governor who was a politician. So sometimes it's not about your it's not about your field per se. It's about individual, what that individual has in stock.
So in other words, you're saying that we shouldn't be looking at what you studied or your practice. Now that you're a politician, it's you might be a doctor. You might have studied as a doctor, and that's your profession. But then you could go man the Ministry of Petroleum, for instance. Is that something that could happen?
No, a petroleum cannot come for a doctor because they're engineers.
So in your perspective,
so those engineers can be given those areas of but okay, look at Aregbesola. When Aregbesola came in, he was complaining that he doesn't know anything. So this is not the first administration that has brought in politicians into their cabinet. That is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's totally complete correct, but we also have some of them on this list that are not politicians. And some of those politicians too, they've also performed in their various areas of assignment in the past. That is what I'm saying.
But this is the issue.
They cannot do anything, or you just write them off.
Let me give you an instance. We had former Minister for Petroleum, Minister for State Petroleum, Timipre Silva. Timipre Silva, in his time, he did English and linguistics. That's from the University of Port Harcourt. So, and for many people, we would say it was more political, him occupying that position, as against although he worked on that setting, I think he worked on the
he worked on that
at the time. Yes, he did. Yes. So perhaps,
and the president then also was the Minister of State for Petroleum. The
Minister for Petroleum himself was the president. But this is where it comes, because now for the president, we have said something about, well, trying to now put what you know in your field. We have tried this way in the past in this country, where people would mount the affairs of certain ministries based on experience, based on political know-how, and they sit at the head and begin to direct how things should work. I'll give an example of some of the ministers we've had in the past for agriculture under the time of Goodluck Jonathan, NAFDAC, the late Dora.
Absolutely.
Yes. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. These are people who occupied positions that they would say it's their field. And then they had a government who supported them politically to ensure that they had all the wherewithal to do their job. Do you think that if we have a government that brings in technocrats, but then you are politically willing to ensure that the right environment is available, that would be best for us, as against what we've been practicing in the past?
Let me tell you, in every administration, the influence of the president always counts in whatever we do. You know what I said? If, for example, you are good at your field and you know what you are doing very well. Okay, for example, now it's okay, Andrew may come and be the Minister of Information or all of that, and you understand your work very well. And the president is not giving you that room to perform in that your area of specialization. Do you think you will perform very well?
That's why I'm asking my question. Shouldn't we have the governments give the environment?
You are talking about Timipre Silva. When Timipre Silva was there, do you think that Timipre Silva was giving any advice that was being carried out when they have the president being in charge of the petroleum ministry and the Emeka being there from the NNPC? I think that position was just to okay, let's satisfy the Niger Delta people with this appointment, because it's supposed to be for their own this thing, for their own. It's supposed to be for them. So I think that the head also contribute to the performance of those working with him in the various ministries.
All right. The percentage of women on the list has also been questioned. I was trying to go through a few things. I think I've highlighted the background of a few of the women. Seven of them. Dr. Doris Aniche Ozoka is one of them, who's the former commissioner for finance. Some people think that women should be given more. Some people share the opinion that women should participate more. I think I've also said, instead of women asking to be given, they should participate more and play the politics so they get themselves in that position. Are you comfortable with the steps so far? And when you look at women involvement, how would you rate that, looking at the ministerial list at the moment? Because it seems as though we had women who are mostly of the APC.
We have 7 on the list, and we have 11 to come. So we don't know how many that will be appointed again in that 11 that is remaining. So with the 7 we have now, I think that the women should also use this opportunity to prove themselves beyond doubt. To tell the men that yes, we can walk the way you people think you can walk. We can perform beyond expectation. So this is just like a test. They are just. Let me not say it's just like a test, because some of them they've had position in the past. So they should also bring in their experience. They should also bring their expertise into the ministry, that any ministry that they were assigned to, so that it will also give more opportunity to women. Because when a woman performs, it gives room for more women to come in. Just like when Patricia held that position, I think if she had handled that position very well as Speaker of the House, then I think by now we shouldn't have been saying that women are not given we are not given a leadership position in the National Assembly. So I think,
but if you make that argument, people will say there are many men who occupied that position and didn't do it well, but more men still went into the politics to occupy it even further.
But how did not take long at all. I think it was just 6 months that issue happened. It was just 6
but that
months.
shouldn't stop women from participating.
The chances of women. So I think women, like in Rivers State now, when the governor gave women the vice chairmanship position in the state, I think the 23 local government areas in the state have been occupied by women. Let's also look at what the women are doing, irrespective of them being the vice chairman of their LGAs. What are they doing? What has been their contribution? So we should look at all of these things. Not when they give you position as a woman, you just decide to sit on the seat and then begin to look at it that, I'm a woman, I can't do this, I can't. Prove yourself beyond doubt. Okay, look at somebody like Professor Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Look at where she is now, because she distinguished herself when she was given that opportunity. Laura Appieli of blessed memory. If you look at when she was in that DG, I think yes, we are fighting war against illegal drug importation and all of that. So let the women, this is an opportunity for the women to showcase themselves. And if you showcase yourself very well, the men too will clamor for their involvement.
All right, Mr. Ortuka, there's still more to talk about the women. I'll come back to it, because some of the names here that are quite new, not very new in politics, but quite new to many Nigerians because they've not been very, very active. But before we get into that, youth, the percentage for young people has been questioned as well. I don't think there's anybody on that list. I don't think there's anybody on that list that is between 30 down, or maybe from 30 to 35.
That is where I'm worried. They've often said that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow, but I'm not seeing it in their actions. Because in this list now, I cannot find any youth. I mean, to me, in the list here, the people I'm seeing here, they are over 50 and 45. Over 50, they are over 50s, almost all of them.
Yes.
So I don't think that they are giving opportunity to the youth. At least we have sports ministry, we have the youth ministry, we have women affairs and all of that. They can use those areas to try the youth. These are not too sensitive areas. You understand? These are not too sensitive areas that you say, okay, it must be those with so vast experience and all of that. So they can start with those areas in all of this now. And these are the same youth are the people that these are the same people that comes out for them to say, we want to elect this, we want to vote for this. What on the day of election? How many old people do you see on the polling booth waiting to cast their vote? Most of them are youth. So why not give them opportunity when the food is cooked?
All right, let's take a few messages on Facebook and then we come over to the calls as well. Tamuno Itekena Dagogo says, good morning. I agree with Andrew for once. Oh, okay. Women should participate more in politics and they would naturally be appointed into more offices. Exactly. I've said that times and time again because when I think about it, there are many men in this politics who do not even get they can't get into office, they can't get those positions, maybe because they're not playing the politics as they ought to. So we cannot say, oh, give those men a chance. I think instead of asking and giving a man the idea that he would decide how many percentage of women should be involved, I think women should get up and get involved and play the politics and pay the sacrifices that comes with playing the politics and get into those positions. And I think the more we do that, the more it's same thing we say with young people. If the youths get more involved,
but you are aware that politics in Nigeria is mostly financial based.
But not every man.
Yes.
That's exactly. But Ortuka, you'd agree that not every man also has the financial ability. We know how election comes, and there are many men that plead and say we don't have this money. They just come and try and do it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and possibly eventually they get somebody that's willing to support them.
I think if you can change our perception about politics in Nigeria, women will be more involved in it because most youths and most people who are into politics, they are all out there for money, and these women, they are not really financially buoyant as in to throw money around like that in political campaigns and all of that. So I think if you watch in the last election, how many women actually participated because they don't really have the money. They don't because, okay, look at the presidential election where they were saying the presidential primary, where they were saying that people were being paid for them to vote for a particular candidate. They have the money to pay for this,
Mr. Ortuka,
to pay to these delegates.
All right, Mr. Ortuka, there's a question. How many men who should have been in politics are in politics? Isn't it still because they don't have the money?
Yes, but most of them are in politics because they have the money to throw around. I won't lie you. They are in politics because they have the money to throw around.
Chile Edwin says Tinubu will learn some lessons from making former Governor Wike a minister. Thank God Ability says, greetings. There's no need of tearing our clothes or arguing this morning. Whether the ministerial nominees are technocrats or not, I strongly believe that majority of these ministerial nominees have held one position or the other, and let's hope that they do well. 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007 are the numbers that you should call, and let's just see if we can take a few calls and get your response. Technocrats or politicians, how do we measure who is best fit to be a minister? The names for these ministerial nominees are out. The nominees list is out, but no portfolios attached, which has also put us in a situation where we're wondering how would we then identify who can occupy where and why. Leighton Barry is calling from Bori. Please go straight to the point, Leighton Barry. Good morning. Just answer the question.
Yeah, good morning, Nicky Meandro.
Yes.
Yeah, looking at who to appoint in the ministerial appointments, well, I believe that Democrats are supposed to be best as the choice to lead in several ministries. But these days, to what I understand, even when you appoint technocrats, like for instance, I see in the high prep here in Ogoni, technocrats who their field depends on that very aspect are also appointed. But yet, nothing is being done here. So sometimes it looks as if whether technocrats or not technocrats, it all depends on your potential.
All right, thank you. Let's go to Robin in the chair. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, my brother, Andrew.
All right, straight to the point, please.
Yeah, technocrat or not technocrat. For me, it has no basis. If you hear me, we have Minister for Justice, Attorney General. He's not a technocrat. He's not a lawyer. Don't the federal government lose cases in court? It's a technocrat. I'm not looking at that. But my worry is this campaign on the program that turned around Lagos. So these names we have gotten today, are they the people who are going to turn Nigeria into El Dorado? Are they the people who are going to turn Nigeria, you and me, to live an utopian state where we will have light, where we will have water, where we can drive safe on the road, where the security can be okay? That is what I want to look towards.
All right, Robin, thank you. AB is in Sani Abacha Road. Good morning, AB.
Good morning.
All right, straight
Good
to the
morning,
point.
Andrew.
Yes.
You talk about Jonathan administration before this morning. This week I've been working with the Goodluck Jonathan administration. Wiki is one of the leadership is all about.
I think, AB, I think maybe I would have to interrupt you, sorry, but you're not speaking to the question that we're asking, and we don't have a lot of time to go around. Let's move on to Africa. Muriel is on the line. Thank you, Muriel. Go on. Good morning.
Thank you. Efemi, good morning.
Yes.
This is your Kreta woman. You see, Efemi, I believe when they said to be a president, you must at least have a school living certificate. Well, I think that should be different for a minister. Now we're talking about technocrats. I believe almost all those persons on the list are graduates, and they are both specialized in different fields. Well, what I expect the president to do, now that he has not assigned any portfolio, is to make sure he gives them portfolio according to their field of study. That's what I expect, honestly. I want round pegs in round holes, square pegs in square holes. So that is what can effectively change the economy. Now, when we're talking about women, now I don't blame men for not giving women a political appointment. Look, the ratio is too small. Women versus men, the ratio is too meager. Now, when they want to take randomly, you see that more men will come and very few women. That's what random sampling does. When men are more and women are few, more men will be selected. So this is a call to encourage women. If you know you can serve your motherland and you have interest, don't shy away. Whether financed or not, come out and start making yourself known and seen. Maybe one way or the other, if more women comes out, you see that when these samplings are done, then more women will be picked.
All right, Muriel, thank you. Let's take a commercial. When we come back, we wrap things up. Mr. Ortuka, please stay on the line for us.
There are three people
All right, we're still here. The conversation continues. We just wrap things up now. We have a few messages to take, but let's get the final words from Emeka Ortuka on this. Mr. Ortuka, so for you, expectations, and then the fact that we did not even get the full list. Many expected that many have the idea is, well, this administration is most prepared and have wanted to be the president for a long time. Now he's president. These things should not be taking this long. What's your take on this? Expectations and the second half of the list, why we didn't get the full?
Yes. My expectation is that I want a better Nigerian, so I want the ministers to be allowed to perform in their various ministries. Because I know that every administration has its own agenda, has its own priority. So let the priority of the Tinubu administration be for Nigeria, where every sector will work, not concentrating on just a specific sector. Oh, I want to concentrate on construction of infrastructures, then allowing other sectors to just die like that. So I want a situation where every sector will be allowed to function. And if that happens, everything will work well. We're comparing the Jonathan's administration to the past administration. During Jonathan's administration, people like Dora Kuneli, people like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, people like Femi Ade, what's that his name?
Additional for Minister for Agriculture.
Minister for Agriculture. Those persons were allowed to perform in their various ministries. If this can happen in this administration, I think we'll have some sort of changes in
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ortuka. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Andrew.
All right, and that's the most for it. Expectations. Screening starts on Monday. Well, that would be another drama altogether. We'll keep you with the details as they unfold. My name is Ifemi Andrew. Stay tuned for the World News.
You are tuned